which is what a lot of people's lives look like. Okay, a glass of muddy water. How do you know the best way to clear that water? Set it down and leave it alone. Set it down and leave it alone. How many know every time you, I just don't know what to do about this muddy water I got? Okay. How many know a lot of people doing that with their lives? I just don't know. I don't know why I feel this way. Don't know why I'm expecting this way. Don't know why I can't give more, can't love more. Well, as soon as somebody does something nice for me, I'll be nice to them. Mm-hmm. Oh, you know, how long are they going to be unhappy? Okay. So our freedom is to do what? I love it. I had the wonderful opportunity to know and spend a lot of time with Alan Watts. How many are Alan Watts fans? Alan's great. And yeah, Alan was wonderful. Alan used to say, you are a function of what the whole universe is doing in the same way the wave is a function of what the whole ocean is doing. We're not separate from other waves, are we? And what happened? We rise up. Pierre Vaillant Khan used to point out we're like waves in the ocean when we rise. And we look around, we appear to be separate from the other waves until we do what? Go back in the ocean only to rise again. You see, you have all the power there is. Alan Watts says, you're an aperture through which the universe is looking at and exploring itself. You see, the universe only made one you. And when it made us, it created something that could observe the whole thing and start to understand it. So it made us, I feel, so it could know more about itself by means of us. And as we began to grow and understand this truth, we began to realize, as Ouspensky said about 1900, that there's probably at least 8 levels of consciousness, that Jesus was probably on about 4. And that the more we wake up to the truth of ourselves, the more we free ourselves from the human experience. And we begin to realize, as the metaphysicians have talked about for years, everybody say, I am spirit, having a human experience. Okay. See, Dr. Holmes said we're 4th-dimensional beings having a 3rd-dimensional experience. Now, when you think from that, you are free. Alan Watts said, we seldom realize, for example, that our most private thoughts and emotions are not actually our own, for we think in terms of language and images which we did not invent, but which we were given to us by our society. Okay. This is why, for 36 years, I have been standing here asking the question that was asked me by my wonderful teachers, that when it was asked, it made me wake up and start thinking. And the question was this, is what you think? Or is it what the world told you to think? How long have you heard, be not conformed to the world, be transformed by the renewing of your mind? Alan Watts said, a scholar tries to learn something every day. A student of truth tries to unlearn something every day. Okay. How many know that much of your positive growth is unlearning attitudes, unlearning expectancy, unlearning confusion, unlearning doubt, unlearning somebody else's definition of you? Yeah. I used to have neighbors, and the mother would get up every day and scream so the whole neighborhood could hear it to her children. You'll never amount to anything. You'll never amount to anything. I am so disappointed in you. All you do is blah, 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 blah. Anyhow, that's been going on for 30-something years. You know what? They're still living at home. They're still living at home. In the Science of Mind textbook on page 72, Dr. Holmes says, the first great discovery man made was that he could think. She could think. They could think. We can think. So we need to think about what we're thinking about. How many before you came here realized the importance of your thoughts? Okay. How many honor them more now when you realize that your next idea is going to produce something? It's going to produce something in your body. It's going to produce something in your work. My dear friend Wallace Edelbrook, one of the great cancer specialists in the world, MD, religious scientist, said the main thing he does, if anybody comes in and they get the diagnosis of that, the first thing he has them do is sit down and say, I want you to review everything in your thinking that has anything to do with something eating away at you and get rid of it. Jerry Jampowski, my friend over here in Sausalito, how many know who Jerry is? Teach Only Love. What's Jerry doing? He's teaching religious science he's working with McDonald House, working with children who have had that diagnosis given. And the first thing he does is say to the parents, I want all the anger you have out of your home. I want all of the disagreement. I want all of the argument. I want all of the negative experience that you're having in any way in your house. I want it out if those children are in that house. And guess what? They get well. They get well. Everyone say, how many know that a lot of children are unhappy and not well because they feel that the unhappiness their parents are going through is their fault? Okay. Okay, I want all of you this morning say, whatever mom and dad did was their choice. Didn't have a thing to do with me. Okay. Now, your health up to now has been your choice. Okay, but you're at a new point that's never happened before this morning. What kind of choice are you going to make this morning? You've invested in yourself by getting up, getting dressed, coming down here. How many are ready to hear what we're talking about, what Mary Jo talked about this morning, what I'm talking about, and ready to walk out of here and be it this week and see how it unfolds as health, as harmony, as positive right action, as success? I am the creative process. Say it. Dr. Holmes says, again, we are what? We are the power. It's looking out of our eyes at the truth of itself. And I refuse to abandon this awareness. In the Science of Mind textbook on page 366, Dr. Holmes says we must not look afar to see the Christ, for Christ is ever near at hand. It is always within us. And what does Christ mean? It does not mean somebody's last name that lived 2,000 years ago. Christ, or Christos, means to what? It means the illumined one. The illumined one. Jesus said when you make the two, duality, one, then you will have discovered the kingdom. And you don't have to die to get to it. In John 8:58, it says, Jesus said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am. Before Abraham was, you are. And I am. Why? Because something that has been here forever decided it wanted something wonderful as its experience, and it created you. The most wonderful thing that ever happened in the mind of God is you. Is you. And the wonderful thing about that, you don't have to go on an ego trip, because if you know it's true of you, you must know it's true of where? Everybody. And if you eliminate anybody, you've eliminated you. Don't eliminate you, include you. Everyone say, I deserve the best because I am the best. I move from the best, through the best, to the best, and it is wonderful. And because it's wonderful, I get real. The wonderful is my real. I am full of wonder. I am full of light. I am full of love and health and happiness and joy. And I give from this understanding. It returns pressed down and overflowing And that's the way it is. Thank you for being here today. Namaste. Woo!